This is the expression I have on my face from watching Deadpool 2. I enjoyed it um, mildly because it's an action movie. It has, guns, the, you know, uh, violence. Let me show you this DVD here. I enjoyed this movie with Anthony Hopkins and Cuba Gooding Jr. called Instinct. If you have not seen Instinct, that was a really good movie. Um, Good acting. I don't recall a ton of liberal SJW shit. Now, my problem with Deadpool is, yes, everybody knows. He says, it's fun, let's joke around, blah, 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 ha, ha, ha. I mean, I understand that you're supposed to have fun and joke around. Oh, fuck my back. Oh, whatever. But honestly, if you're left for the movie Deadpool from the first one, and you really didn't pay attention to the second one about all the bullshit from the liberals is in that movie, then you need to go back and rewatch that movie. If you really missed like the demonizing of white males in that movie, and then on top of that, they just added a female. They just shoved a female in there, and then said, "This is Pikachu," or whatever the fuck her name was. Pink hair, and the supersonic girl. She's like, "She's my girlfriend," or whatever the fuck she says, some shit like that to introduce her as her girlfriend. For whatever fucking reason, I don't get it. Like everybody, I seen like everybody that I would respect their opinion that I like to watch about these things, and I haven't seen anybody really criticize this movie. I like Ryan Reynolds, but if I see a movie with that type of shit in it, I'm going to call it out. Yeah. She's still sleeping, so I don't want to be rude. But whenever I wake up, I have I have like really good thought process about these things, these different type of things that get under my skin that annoy me. Like I'm not the hugest Deadpool fan, but I enjoy Deadpool. Kind of like I enjoy Spider-Man. I enjoy Batman. I like Superman. Incredible Hulk is like one of my favorite superheroes. I like both. I like DC and Marvel, but Marvel's kind of fucking their comics. And then on the other hand, you got DC, which is doing really well with their comics. But then you have Marvel's movies; they're doing pretty well for a good amount of them. They're doing very well. Not all of them. People, they want to say it's all of them. Okay, let's get something clear. the other Iron Man movies, even the first one, wasn't that great. Like, it was good all the way up until the end, where you had that bullshit, stupid fight between him and his daddy's business partner, whatever the fuck that was. And then after that fight, I mean, it was a cool scene, but it wasn't. It just didn't make any sense. The fight was just it was just retarded. It was retarded. It was dumb. It was stupid. They could have came up with a better villain than that. Um, but after that, in the very last scene, whenever he's like, really, this information about him being Iron Man, you know, for some reason that didn't bother me as much as the scene with him fighting the other Iron Man. Oh yeah, spoiler. I talked about the other Iron Man in Iron Man 1. Oh fuck. I don't know why people can't criticize Marvel movies. Like, it seems like people can act like they can't criticize Marvel movies. I mean, there's shitty things about some Marvel movies. Not as bad, but I mean, it seems to be that the standard for what we call bad movies and good movies, that's when it dropped down some. I mean, I would say for the most part, most Marvel movies that I have seen were on the scale of like 7 to 8 at best, and it really hasn't gone up from, you know. Look at the movie. Shoot, what is that? Hannibal Lecter. I mean, it wasn't the greatest movie that's ever made or existed, but I mean that movie was fucking amazing. Or I'm trying to think of like the different types of examples of movies, like older movies that were just amazing. You know, like the first Rambo was a really badass. Uh, you know, that was a really badass movie. It's about this guy who was in the military, and you know, he has the law enforcement fucking with that dude. I mean, it was a really good movie. You know, these older movies that were just amazing and badass. And then you look at what we got now, like, yeah, Marvel might have the money to, not Marvel, but Disney, honestly, they might have the money to spend on making really good looking movies. But they're starting to focus on SJW, like liberalism type of stuff in their movies. And this is what's irritating or frustrating, and what I'm trying to point out is at the end of the um, the movie with Thanos. Um, this is kind of spoiler talk, so um, not a, not a big spoiler talk though. It's hinted at Captain Marvel is going to be in the next one. You can tell by the excitement on my face. Um, the, the one that had a comic series canceled is going to be in a movie in the next movie. You can tell how excited I am. We can't focus on any other characters in the MCU that have fought World Buster Hulk or whatever. We can't focus on anybody from that comic book that fought the Hulk at his strongest and to a standstill. Um, but we can focus on this female character that's comic books have failed over and over and over and over again. Um, can we please, for the love of baby Jesus, can we get competent comic fans to help these fucks make some movies? It's not that difficult. Please, if you are a comic fan and you know a shit ton about comics, please, somebody must inform Disney and WB, whoever the fuck makes DC movies. They need to get in these areas and help them straighten this shit out and make some decent, good films. I'm tired of seeing DC fail at making movies. Kind of in the same way I'm tired of seeing Marvel fail at making comic books. You know, you have Diversity in Comics, which is doing an amazing job at pointing out the shit. And some other YouTubers that are doing a good job at it. We need to do the same kind of thing with. We need to do some kind of thing with the movies. We need to demand better, expect better, especially the DC movies. Holy shit! There's some really bad Marvel movies. Like everybody ignores the old Spider-Man movies. I mean, the remake after the first 3 that came out. Not even talking about the really old shit, but like the first 3 of them that came out. Like those were fucking awful. I remember my parents went to go watch it, and they said they really liked it. It was really good, but when I watched it, I must have been watching a completely different fucking movie or something because those movies were fucking horrendous. Whenever they showed the Spider-Man fighting the Green Goblin in one of them, it looks like wrestlers in Power Ranger outfits fighting each other. Their costumes are big and bulky and just really fucking goofy. That's what I remember from one of them. And Stan Lee's always kind of shoehorned in each movie in some weird, different, crazy role, and it really makes no sense. I mean, I could kind of see or understand like if he was doing one job and he was in that one place at that one time, you know, then that would make sense. Or all these different movies he's doing something different. Like one movie he's a strip club announcer guy, whatever, with a microphone. Another movie he's like a school bus driver. And then another movie he's like sitting on some moon or some shit talking to somebody. Fuck, I don't even. He was talking to somebody in one of the movies. I heard the reason for that was he was like one of these supreme alien godlike beings or whatever. I'm not buying that because his makeup and look, it looks completely different than what those alien super beings are. Those movies were just awful. If we're honest, if you go back and watch those movies, they're just awful. Like I grew up, I was watching the first Superman, and that was a pretty good movie. Christopher Reeves, I mean, I didn't agree with like every single thing in there that was going on because it seemed like they just kind of added shit to it. Like, I don't mind. I don't mind like stuff being changed, but can we at least get something that is close to what the thing is supposed to be? I would really appreciate that. We'll try to leave some, or if not most, of the politics out of it that are your politics. That would be amazing. Anyway, like I was watching a tutorial video of somebody showing you how to draw like Batman, and really I learned how to draw by just looking at something and drawing it, just because I liked how different pictures looked. So that's kind of how I taught myself to draw, is just by looking at the picture and then just drawing from like what I see. Um, I didn't learn the other way around though. I was trying to draw a Batman, but he looks more like Black Panther or Wolverine. It's kind of embarrassing. I don't know. There's only too bad so far. So I was I was drawing my own thing. Well, not my own thing, but like it's more like Black Panther or Wolverine. I know I haven't finished, but I was working on the details. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of all the different type of stuff. I'm personally frustrated with these different movies, like Doctor Strange. Like these, a lot of these actors, I like them in these movies. Um, it's just when they're handed content from these people that are making these movies, and they're just like blah. And Doctor Strange was just kind of like a cookie cutter kind of movie. It was just kind of bleh. It does explain things. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm more disappointed with with the way Star Wars has been turning out. Well, that and the fact of I really haven't been seeing people call out the shit from Deadpool 2 like they should have been. Like Deadpool 1 wasn't this heavy and um, leftist type of SJW agenda things. Like literally, if you go watch that movie, um, all the people that worked there, all the men that were murdered at the close to the end of the movie, it was excused that they were murdered. And why? Because apparently every single guy that's a white male, that's either 30 or older, is apparently a child molester. On top of being a child molester, they also beat kids and read religious texts while torturing these kids at this place. They purposely did that. I don't remember any other group of ethnicity wise. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just missed somebody could point it out to me. I didn't notice any other ethnicity group that was working at that place. I don't remember seeing any other group. Now again, tolerate I'm wrong, but the only ones I seen that they're killing were white males, from what I can remember. Yes, I only did the only things I'm talking about from this movie are things that I can specifically remember because I don't have the DVD. They haven't come out the DVD yet, but I don't have the DVD, and specifically from the top of my head, the point of going there it was to save the boy of the movie. So he is a spoiler time. So he breaks out Juggernaut, and Juggernaut was like, "All right, let's go beat some ass." So they're going to beat some ass. You remember him saying that he just was kind of like with them for whatever reason, and on top of that, when the heroes, like, when they get there and they're trying to help save that boy, and Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, uh, he's showing that kid that he's sacrificing himself. He's saving him. He's saving the boy, basically by sacrificing himself to prove to the boy that he cares about him. So Cable goes back and then puts this coin deal in his chest before they go and do what they're going to do. So when they go back in the same moment to go do what they're going to do, they think he got shot and killed, except for Cable, because he knows he went back and saved Deadpool. Not because he cares or whatever, but because it helps save his daughter in the future and life, and that's all he cares about. So that's why he saved Deadpool, basically. But it defeated the purpose of him sacrificing himself to save this kid. And the strange thing is they were trying to show him that you don't have to kill every single time to to bring justice. Like, that's kind of why we have the law system, the courts and shit like that. But they basically kill everybody working there. Now, as far as I'm aware, we don't live in a country with absolutely no laws. If you're just going to kill everybody anyways, wouldn't you kind of be a villain? I mean, you're there to stop this kid from killing everybody and then going on to mass murder tons of other people. And showing him by murdering the entire staff of white males based on the assumption that they're all child molesters and child abusers. When, my head is a little funny shaped, right here. I just noticed that. It doesn't show that you're trying to stop him from being a psychopathic killer, because y'all just went through there and mass murdered all of those employees. Y'all did like the opposite thing that you should have done, which would have been to call the authorities and have all these males looked into, or something you know to stop what was going on. Because if that shit gets found out that that's just going on, people just don't lay by and let that shit keep happening. They get the authorities involved. That's why you have this whole fucking scandal with the Catholic fucking Church. That group. Of course, there's probably still some of it going on, but whenever somebody gets caught for doing that type of thing, it's outed. Like, everyone knows, especially like all these celebrities and in the news, like fucking Bill Cosby and that Bernard Weinstein or whatever, Weinstein or what the fuck his name is. There's some other ones. Like, there was another one, I think, I want to say it was Morgan Freeman, but I'm not sure. I think somebody said that he had been accused as like messing with a female or something. I don't know details about that specific story, but this is also something like people want to say everything is rape now and sexual harassment. What do you mean everything is rape and sexual harassment? Not everything is rape. Rape is somebody forcing you to have sex, just like forcing you to have sex without your consent. That's it. That's all it means. Is force sex on the other person. Force sex. That's all it is. It's just like they like to change this bullshit with racism. They're trying to change the word racism to include other fucking things to it that weren't there before. Same thing that they were doing with fucking the term rape. Rape is penetration without your consent. That's what rape is. Like somebody forcing you to have sex. I guess it would still be, rape if somebody's forcing anal on you and you're gay or not gay or whatever. Or somebody, if you're a female and they're forcing penetration inside of you in your vagina, that word is weird. Then yeah, that would be rape. Anything other than that is not particularly rape, because rape is that thing. And another thing that people like to get confused is the term and the word atheist. Like, atheist, the only thing atheist is lack of belief. That's it. It's not the same thing as religion. It's not the same claim as religion. Lacking belief in that thing is not the same thing as a religion or religion god, or belief in a religion god. It's lack of belief in that claim. Lack of. That has more of a being there than than the word belief, because it's a lack of belief, and it's not accepting the claim of that thing. That's all it means. Now, me as an atheist, I don't just, you know, think people who do believe, I just push them aside. Oh, these people are just fucking crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. Blah blah blah. I still, listen to different people's opinions, not based on whether they do or don't believe. Um, it would just be silly to put everybody in a box, um, just because they're leftist or conservative, Republican, or fall somewhere in the fucking middle centrist type of shit. My whole deal is, whenever I talk about these movies, though, um, people want to make it fucking political, and you can't fucking get away from needs to be about fucking politics. Like the shit with football. Football is just a fucking sport. These fucking athletes are definitely are overpaid, and one of the things going on with football is people are not bending the knee. I don't give two flying fucks if some rich, overpaid athlete bends a knee to Papa Capitalism America. I don't care. Yeah, it's kind of weird and fucked up, maybe, if you're like sucking the national cock of America. I mean, yeah, I mean, it might seem screwed up in that sense, but I mean, not everybody is on their knees, sucking the flag off. You don't have to be. That's the point of being a fucking American. You can do pretty much whatever the fuck you feel like doing. It's kind of like the free speech thing. You should be able to say just about anything that you want. You can't say anything you want, but you should be able to say mostly anything that you want. It doesn't incite some kind of violence. Um, anything that you want that's not inciting violence, or however that tends to work. It's not inciting violence. Like, you should be able to say whatever weird, fucked up shit that she wants. Um, okay. So yeah, I mean, my other issue, other than in that Deadpool 2 movie, is after it defeats the purpose that all these men are dead, that one guy is left, the main guy that's from the child abuse center for for abused children. Um, they're trying to convince the boy that he shouldn't kill this guy. When in fact they're like, well, karma will take care of him, while they're walking away. And then the dude from the taxi jumps the corner. We all knew that was going to happen when they were walking away talking about karma, even though that's bullshit or whatever. So it jumps the curb and runs the guy over they were trying to save, that boy becoming a murderer. So you basically fucked your point on that one. That means that kid should still become a murderer based on the fact that you were still promoting the idea that for some reason he still deserved to die. Um, yeah, and then I feel like there's a lot more SJWisms that were said that I didn't get to or I haven't addressed, because when you watch that movie, he says a lot of shit in the movie that comes off that way. Yeah, I'm trying to specifically I know. Also, like in Marvel Comics, they introduce a female supersonic, and when they introduce her, they introduce this other girl. Her name's Pikachu, some shit like that. Asian girl with pink hair, very diverse, very specific. I'm sure we all wouldn't mind having an Asian girl with pink hair. Who doesn't like a hot Asian girl? Honestly, like, oh yeah, it was so rough and so hard, for these two females to be together. Oh yeah, yeah. Why? Any male has a real issue with two hot females being together. Yeah, that's a really big problem. I can't think of any. And then after she introduces this girl, like she says, "She's my girlfriend." Hmm. Like, okay, I don't know what you want me to do with this information, or this information has to do with what's going on. You're like literally in the first movie, Sonic Warhead, whatever the fuck. You're busting Deadpool's chops for being like fucking cringy or whatever for his jokes or his off-putting ways or whatever. You're busting his balls. But then in the one of the most cringiest ways, you introduce this female as your girlfriend for no fucking reason. No reason. Like they don't really do anything in this movie. The only thing they do is like some kind of comedy relief at the end when they're fighting Juggernaut, as if Colossus. I mean, yeah, he could have used help, but not a comedic relief fucking style of help from two teenage girls that just made the whole scene ridiculous. It made it like a fucking cartoon happening. Like he's fighting Colossus and it's looking badass, and Juggernaut and Colossus is looking badass while they're fighting, and it looks like how the fight you would imagine happening, and they're just fucking each other up like back and forth, and then she literally takes this fucking cord, shoves it up Juggernaut's ass. Somehow there's water there around the building that they're at, and the other girl like shoots some fucking electric shit, and it runs it through the cord up his ass, and he goes flying into the water, and then that's supposed to kill the Juggernaut. Is the electricity, or knocked him out, or whatever the fuck happened to him. I didn't know Juggernaut was defeated so easily by two teenage girls, and I didn't know his pants would just come down just from barely yanking on them, or however they got him off. Getting that close to him, I don't know, because Juggernaut was supposed to be a badass, and yeah, these two girls that hardly weigh 110, 20 pounds got his pants down and a cord in his butt magically somehow. It's fucking amazing. The feminism propaganda in this movie. And am I the only fucking person noticing this shit? Somebody else has got to be noticing this shit. It's just fucking like I'm in Bizarro world or some fucking shit. I know everyone likes fucking Deadpool, or they don't want to criticize Deadpool. I like Deadpool. I don't want Deadpool to get fucked up like the comic books are fucked up, or the more recent comic books in Marvel, the shit show of SJW comics. was my rant to do with that SJW things in Deadpool. I'm trying to think of anything else that specifically bugged me. Other than I want to change like the race and the skin color and the gender of certain characters. Like apparently the boy that's based on the comic book character they were saving. He's like a different ethnicity. Domino, I was pretty sure Domino was originally white, and then they changed her. I think I think I remember an adaptation of her in the comic book, her being black like she was. But my thing is, why couldn't they have made the original for the role of introduction or introducing her? It seems like a lot of forced diversity type of things going on, and liberalism, left liberalism type of shit. I'm just tired of seeing kind of not fully. I'm not saying we shouldn't have any kind of diversity at all in movies, but when it's so hand-fisted and noticeable, it just makes the movie worse. Like I would have gave Deadpool like easily a 4 out of 5 if it wasn't so hand-fisted. That's the same thing. Like not nearly. Well, it was worse than Ghostbusters. Like the remake of Ghostbusters was just fucking awful. And if you haven't noticed how awful Ghostbusters was, and you're one of these people who are just like, "Oh, it was funny, ha ha ha." To me, whenever I seen the previews, it looked like a really bad SNL sketch. I listened to many reviews of this movie that was a burning dumpster fire. I don't have to watch a movie and convince myself that a bad movie is a bad movie is a bad movie. If a movie is bad, then it's bad. Like, that's the thing with these prequels for Star Wars that I got. They're bad, but they're not on the cringe level as bad as Ghostbusters was. Like, Ghostbusters is negative score rating. I would give that like a negative 6 or -7. It's really fucking bad. It's on the high end scale of bad. Like bad or Meet the Stupids or something like that. It has Tom Arnold. I mean, I like Tom Arnold. You know, he was in a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was actually pretty fucking. I was rambling for a while, but you get my point. You know that Ghostbusters was bad, but left-leaning people in the media had to shove the opinion that if you hate it, you're a white male that lives in your parents' basement that did the same shit with with these new Star Wars movies. They were saying, "Oh, these people are just fucking white males," or blah blah, some bullshit. They were making up some bullshit like they do. You know, they're just these racist, sexist fucking males, and that's why this movie's doing bad, or is an excuse for their shit being horrible instead of like the older movies like the original Ghostbusters. And I'm trying to point this out as much as I can. The original Ghostbusters, excuse me, had a strong female character, not one, but two strong female characters. The lady that they hired to do their office work, their temp, she was smart. She was written smart. She was written funny, and she was written very intelligent. You can make a female look very intelligent, smart, and funny, on top of making lead males goofy and just funny. That was in the original. I mean, you could complain about that because there was maybe one, maybe a couple of them were smart and funny and intelligent, but not all of them were. Okay, and then there's the main female character. I think it's Sigourney Weaver, I think, and that chick that was hired for the office work. Both of those female actors were really good in the movie, and it was the movie actually felt um, like something that was going on, that was happening. It wasn't like this new Ghostbuster remake where it just looks like a SNL sketch, or these new Star Wars movies. Like Episode 7 was just a bland ripoff of Episode 4, and people want to criticize the old movies and said, well, these old movies they just weren't that good. Episode 7 was pretty good, and I enjoyed it. That's what I heard. Some people that seen it would say, that it was okay. I enjoyed it. But no, if you ask fans, like Star Wars fans, they will tell you that it's a carbon copy of 4. And Rogue One, I liked Rogue One. It was okay. I don't know why it gets as much hate as it does. I don't understand that because I enjoyed Rogue One. I honestly enjoyed Rogue One. It was a decent movie. It does not deserve the shit it gets. But then you go to Episode 8, one of the worst movies I have ever seen. Because not only do they not make it to where everybody can be a Jedi, so it's not special, they make it to where their main Mary Sue from Episode 7 just like beats everybody's ass. Beats Kylo's ass, beats her master's ass, Luke. Beats Luke's ass, the most badass, brave fucking Jedi. Beats his ass. And then, like, she beats his ass, and then, she goes and helps the Resistance, whatever fuck they are, with Raggedy Team and Princess Leia and all these purple SJW warrior, pink hair. You really don't know who the fuck she is because she's literally never in any of the movies. We get, that one alien with the weird fucking bug eyes or whatever fuck. Even though he was in the old movies, like he was killed off screen. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. And while all these people are dying in these escape pods, she decides to jump in, fly the ship into the main, dreadnought ship. While that's going on, Rey is fighting Ren over the broken lightsaber. And after Ren, build up to the main bad guy, his supervisor, boss, or mentor, or whatever the fuck he is, he just cuts him in half with that lightsaber just sitting next to him. And this is just really, really bad writing. If you don't recognize how bad it is, you're just brainwashed. You're such a brainwashed fool to not realize how bad it is. Because you can go back, you can look at the originals again, just like the comparison with Ghostbusters. You can see competent males, and you can see a competent female, if not more than one female in those movies. Princess Leia was one of the most badass resistance that was in the series. She was a badass. She fucking kills Jabba the fucking Hutt and then burns his fucking shit down. She was a badass. She did that with hardly any clothes on her body. She had a breastplate bra thing, prison Leia outfit, a hardly anything here. She had just like a sexy slave outfit on, and she fucking takes a chain and fucking chokes Jabba the Hutt, the lord of these fucking um, uh, these fucking scum, these fucking scums, like these fucking fucked up villain type characters. You know, he's like their gang boss or whatever the fuck. You know, she fucking chokes their leader, kills him in this confusion that's going on when they're all fighting outside the ship on these other small ships, and Jabba the Hutt's about to have them all killed. You know, and Luke starts beating some ass. You know, and that shit's pursuing outside. And while she's inside the ship, the main ship where Jabba the Hutt is, she's taking a chain and choking the shit out of his ass with the fucking chain. Kills fucking Jabba the Hutt. One of the most powerful fucking villains in the movie. Just fucking chokes his ass. Just literally chokes his ass to fucking death. And you have these stupid fucks that are feminists saying, oh, well, we had no strong female characters. Whenever Princess Leia was a slave princess, she was just being what the fuck? She was just being sexualized. She had no power. She was not a strong female. I honestly was debating somebody about this, and they said Princess Leia was not a strong female character. Are you fucking smoking crack and mushrooms at the same time while shoving an SJW peg in your butt? What the fuck are you talking about? Go back and watch these fucking movies. Because honestly, you weren't paying the fucking attention the first time, you idiot. If you don't understand that Princess Leia was a strong, badass female character, you are a complete fucking inept fucking cuck that drinks soy milk and doesn't understand what a strong character is. She fucking killed a fucking gang boss, warlord, whatever the fuck he is. He's a fucking Hutt. He's a fucking, master of their fucking, these fucked up, villains, seedy characters. She fucking chokes him to death. One of the most badass scenes. Like, she straight up murders somebody with his own chain. Like, she was enslaved by this Hutt. And even though she was enslaved, she got enslaved purposely so she could fucking choke his ass to death at the right time when that time was ready. He didn't see it coming. Nobody else there saw it coming because they were being fucking idiots. Like, when this whole confusion and the lights are going in and out or whatever, and she's fucking choking his ass to death, nobody knows what the fuck's going on. So, his ass is dead. And they shit on fire. Fucking shit's crazy. Like, that just reminded me, like, if the prequels were as bad as these new movies, I wouldn't be watching the prequels before I watched the original ones. I'm going back to watch the prequels and then watching the original ones because there's really good shit in the prequels. Does everybody fucking forget the and I guess to male heroism in Han Solo to make him come off as Han Solo, give him some badass swagger, put somebody in the role who could have acted like Han Solo. That would have made sense too. Any of those fucking things. The shock that this is something that's owned by Disney and's got fucked over that badly. Kathleen Kennedy should definitely have been fired over this fuck up. I mean, this is like you would be making so much money off of the actual fans because these kids of these parents who grew up with Star Wars, they don't give a shit about Star Wars, and they definitely don't give a shit now about Star Wars because if the parents don't give a shit about Star Wars, why the fuck would the kids give a shit about Star Wars? They're not going to care about this fucking leftist shit being in these movies. It's not going to save these movies. But the pure fact that she doesn't understand that, or she doesn't get that because she's such a fucking inept idiot. She's a fucking idiot. You can't save a franchise off of kids who don't give a shit about that thing. You know what kids are fucking with nowadays? Kids are fucking with Fortnite. They're playing fucking Fortnite. The game is so fucking simple and cringy and bad, but they're playing Fortnite. Like, you could play a better first-person shooter, FPS, than Fortnite. Like, Star Wars literally has a game you can run around and shoot each other in, and it looks amazing. It looks fucking amazing. The graphics are. Then this goes back to the fact that the graphics in game doesn't necessarily matter, because Fortnite looks like a fucking cartoon, first-person shooter cartoon, comic book cartoon, and kids and teenagers that are playing that. I don't mind, I guess, playing it. It's just my only deal or issue playing it is like, if you get shot, then you have to just be like one of the bystanders of watching, or you go back to the lobby and then you go to a new game. And then if you want to play the other version that they have, you have to pay $60 to play that version that they have of it, where you play online, fighting zombies with your friends, or however the fuck that works. Supposedly it was supposed to be free whenever, in 2018, but it's not free if you're paying $60 for it. You're basically paying the amount for a new game. So don't call it free and it's not free. You're still paying for it. I think they call it like a founder's pack or some shit. Yeah. No, you're still charging money for it, and it's still not free. I mean, the whole point of making this video is I'm venting, you know, uh, there's episode 7 at worst it should get negative stars, just like episode 8. Episode 8 was in the negative, just like Ghostbusters remake. They're just awful fucking movies, and if you're so far left leaning that you can't realize an awful fucking movie when you see it, then that's when you know you are drinking the Kool-Aid of that political sphere. You should be open-minded enough to admit when something's fucking trash or not. Yeah, that's all I got to say. I think I will end this here. And everybody have a good Sunday morning, worshiping your Lord and zombie Savior, Jesus, Yahweh. Like being the only thing I got to say about that is people who do believe this is just funny, because there's a lot of things that I will agree with them on, except for that one thing. And when you disagree with them about those few specific things that just make no sense, that's when they start looking at you crazy. It's kind of like that with feminism. Feminism is a religion. Like, if you disagree with them about feminism and some of these left views they hold, like religion, then those type of people look at you kind of crazy too. It's just kind of an odd type of thing that goes on, especially if you know the people that are on all types of spectrums of political views and religious views. Oh, and that everybody have a good Sunday, worshiping Jesus or non-Jesus, whichever religion you're following, whatever strange voodoos that you believe. And Merry Hanukkah. be wary of the number 13. And I will thank you for watching. There's one other thing. Whenever it's talking about atheists and people saying that's the same thing as religion, it's no. Just saying you lack belief in a God is it's kind of the same thing if you said you lacked belief in anything else. Like if I lacked belief in Transformers, that doesn't mean there's a validation for Transformers some fucking where else. That's just not fucking real. There's no evidence for Transformers. There's no reason to believe in Transformers. I just lack belief in Transformers. All right, but have a good Sunday. And if you watch, thank you for watching.